I don't believe in it. I don't believe in sudden change. I don't believe in miracles. If you sit on the couch every time you come home, it becomes simply impossible to not do that whatever you want. You can change yourself that easily. Just as I don't expect you to do everything that's needed to solve your depression right away. That's why the first step of this guide is sleep. It's easy, it's something you can do right away. And I'm sorry if that seems like I have a lack of faith in you, but it's important to me that you have a real rock to step on, and not fantasies. Like the 100-day sleep challenge is something you might do today, next week, but not that many times in the future. What's easy to change doesn't stay in your life. And that isn't the goal. The goal is to give you habits that tell you that you are safe, that you can handle it, against the world, against yourself. So when the anxieties and fears come, you have something so strong and immovable that it provides you with the stability you need to go through whatever gets thrown at you. And that is called consistency. It isn't just doing the same thing over and over again. It's more than that. It's keeping an idea, a persona, a version of you present in your life that helps you travel through your fears and insecurities, because they are someone who will be here yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Someone who will fight no matter what. Someone who always does what they need to do no matter what happens. And that calms your anxious self. Because since they are so consistent, you can be guaranteed a minimum degree of safety. Like if you do your job consistently, you can be sure to be able to earn a living. Or if you exercise regularly, there is a state in which you can expect your body to be. Or if you show up regularly for someone, you can be confident enough in the dating world. If you are consistent, things will never get to rock bottom. And yes, your mind asks for these things. It's a survival mechanism, always preparing for the possible scenarios. That's why if you don't have any consistency in your life, it's very easy to feel unsafe and without confidence. Because your mind has no actual proof that you can do the things you say you can do. That's where the anxiety comes from. It knows you have no moves. So no, consistency isn't simple habits. It's much more than that. It's the only way for you to go higher in life safely. It's the only way you will be able to take risks without worrying about losing. Because after all, if you know you can do things consistently no matter what, no matter how tired, sad, or unmotivated you are, you can always build it back up. It stops being a matter of if it happens and it starts being a matter of when it happens, because it's what you always have been doing. And that's a whole different reality, because you can actually hope and go after the things you want. You aren't stuck here in fear and anxiety and depression. This is what a proper life looks like. It takes time building it, but it's worth it. Every single second of it. It's one of the main things that helped me keep out of my depression. Me getting out consistently of my depression again and again, doing the things that needed to keep me out of depression for years and years, became all I can do to not be depressed anymore. So I don't really worry about it coming back again. And from my experience, I can give you two concepts that can help ease the process of creating this side of you that you can rely on. So the first one is your expectations. Like, don't expect things out of yourself that have no basis in reality. Like, for example, believing you can do 100 push-ups without doing a single one. Or 10 in phys ed class 12 years ago. So it doesn't become such a disappointment later when the truth hits and you give up and you go back to feeling crappy and never trying for anything. Don't demand too much of yourself. It's fine to fail, it is fine to miss some days as long as you keep trying. Rebuild what you know with your own experiences, things you can physically touch and know that are permanent in your life, and not on your fragile ego that tell all these big lies just to not face the truth, simply because it's uncomfortable. You will never have a decent life if you believe in the lies you tell yourself. Someone who runs away constantly is not the kind of person you deserve. You owe it to yourself to tell the truth, and your dream future will never come if you keep connecting with something that isn't the real you. Just because you can now doesn't mean you can't later. You absolutely can. And this is the way. Repeat that to yourself how many times you need. And the second tip is to learn to accept the process. All the times you picked your phone, felt tired, or just gave up in the middle of doing something you needed to do aren't proof of your incompetency, but rather prove that you are on the path of improving yourself. Accept all of that as part of the process, and by doing this, everything becomes smoother because you aren't fighting yourself anymore. You aren't spending time criticizing yourself after trying to do something difficult. And just as easy these states come in, you become able to go back to being focused, increasing the rate of you making the right choices in a day. Just try it with 20-minute timers, instead of doing something for a long time. Comment how it goes. It becomes easier because if you look from the outside, you aren't punishing yourself from doing something difficult anymore. And those distractions become the rewards, making you much more motivated to do the right things. You can become what you aim for as long as you don't skip steps and accept everything as part of the process, like water.
Be water, my friend.
And the version you want to become will flow naturally into your life. The version of yourself in which you can rely on and feel safe with. The version of yourself that says you can dream and hope and try without fear of consequences. That is the most beautiful version of you. I'll be here next week.